They say all is fair in love and war. But what about politics? The 2018 campaign season all in on dirty politics. Political attack ads made the rounds, going viral on social media and WhatsApp. And then there was Torres, seeking to destabilize and destroy campaigns, starting with his former bosses in the administration, eventually turning his venom towards the Cruz camp. Some say Torres, a big part of why the Rodriguez-Cruz camp he was volunteering for, finished last in the primary. When it came to Torres, the media was interested at first, but when he couldn't produce a single shred of evidence or proof, the press, for the most part, quit biting. Torres was then left with nothing but Facebook Live. While there are definite differences between the Republican and Democrat parties, one thing they could agree on: attack ads are bad for both sides of the aisle.
It's getting actually very nasty.
They're disgusting and they're illegal.
Without any indication of who's paying for the ad.
It's very disappointing that people won't at least tie their name to it.
Cowardly.
Lieutenant Governor candidate Josh Tenorio of the Lou and Josh team said for candidates, it can be very hard to turn a blind eye to negative campaigning.
You try not to look at it, but then everybody who's your friend and family sends it to you because they want you to know about it. Then soon everybody sees it. So, I'd be trying not to get discouraged. I'm pretty strong, I can take it, but, it's always never good when it hits your family, my sister, so yeah.
One of the most attacked candidates down the stretch, leading to the primary, candidate for governor, Senator Frank Uggan Jr. Uggan even has a YouTube channel made up of videos that specifically attack him.
Working guys like me usually don't run for office.
We asked the senator, who has been part of 3 gubernatorial campaigns, if negative attacks come with the territory.
Other elections, there were a lot of negative ads also. In this election, it was even more impactful, primarily because much of the negative ads were directly targeted to myself. So that's where the difference is. I would return home and my family would just be somewhat devastated, knowing full well that why are they doing this? Why are they attacking you in this way? And it's very unfortunate.
Just days before the primary election, this cabinet attack ad on the Lou and Josh team dropped. While the candidates admit they are fair game during campaigns, this election saw campaign supporters and the candidates' families getting caught in the political crossfire.
Just personally, Chris, when I saw the picture of Graciela, I thought that is dirty, barbaric, heinous kind of, to do that to somebody who is going to live the rest of her life thinking about that. I don't know. It's totally inhumane.
A number of the negative ads targeted family members, and it directly affected our families.
And why didn't we know who these ads were coming from? How could we consider the substance in them if we couldn't consider the source? While Facebook requires some disclosure for political ads, for the most part, social media is a lot like the Wild West. Anything goes. It's a case of buyer beware. Mainstream traditional media, guided by federal decency and accountability standards, seems to be the only safe zone for voters to get messages and know who the messengers are. Ads, whether for or against candidates or issues, are required to disclose who pays for them.
In the traditional media and every media that we go to, we say that. But I guess it's just, it's mainly in social media, right? And so maybe there aren't those rules and regulations that need to happen. I think it should happen.
I think that the GEC and mainstream media has done a really good job of following the letter of the law and being able to put that end tag, that disclaimer about who's paying for this ad, who's funding this ad, and that's really important.
I think any advertisement for or against an individual or a campaign should always have a name associated with it. Who is producing that particular ad and what kind of information is being disseminated. And there's got to be an enforcement component to this, and it's either the Office of the Attorney General or the Guam Election Commission.
I think that it's been positive for people to have to do the disclaimers and take credit for the messages that they're putting out there, the advertisements that they're putting out there. So yeah, I think the Election Commission certainly has to be in the lead in enforcement. There are ways for them to try and get that power, maybe pattern some of the things that the Federal Election Commission does.
Tenorio says negative ads are part and parcel of the political landscape, but Do they work?
It never works. Negative attack ads in the past that I've seen, people get turned off by that.
We can contrast on issues. We can contrast on our differences in how we do things and what our philosophies are. But the kind of gutter stuff, then yeah, I don't think it should have a place. I don't think people like it. I'm not sure if it really moves anybody, but it certainly makes. It's just very contrary to what Guam is about.
Do I think that it affected the results? I really have no idea. I think that anytime that you try to tarnish an individual's credibility and lifetime work of service, it may have an effect, but I am a true believer in our people, and I believe our people came out and voted the way they wanted to.
For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.